ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यभिमहायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ शान्तिपाठ। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो हरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। मंत्र। परीक्षलोकान् कर्मचितान् ब्राह्मणः निर्वेदमायान्नास्त्यकृतः कृतेन तद्विज्ञानार्थं स गुरुमेवाभिगच्छेत्। समित्पाणिश्रोत्रियं ब्रह्मनिष्ठम् तद्विज्ञानार्थम. So knowing that self which gives moksha, because the nature of Atma is moksha, free. So Sagurumeva Abhigachet, one should definitely go to the teacher. What type of teacher? Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam, one who is well versed in unlocking the meaning of the words, because he is a traditional teacher. So in tradition is nothing but a methodology of teaching. So he is aware of, because he also was a student to his teacher. And so Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam, one whose commitment is to Brahman. That's it. He knows he is non-separate from Brahman. He may be also in a process of reinforcing this understanding, but he is called Brahmanishtam. Samit Panihi, with a upahara, with some gift, the student should approach to the teacher. And I told you, now the last part is this, meditations. So this meditation here we call contemplation, and they are basically meant for reinforcing. Because it happens that even though we feel that I am now clear that I am Brahman, but the moment you go out, things are the same, looks. You again feel I am body. Not feel, you immediately take it. That shows that the understanding has not yet reinforced properly. So in order to reinforce this understanding, definitely one has to do this contemplation. There are two types of contemplation. And one is a contemplation which is internal, means with respect to your thoughts. And there is a external meditation, with regards to the world. Whatever you take thought is also Brahman. You take world also is Brahman. So either way you can do. That's what it means. And let us look at this external meditation first. With regards to world, how world is Brahman, which is myself. So that understanding we are reinforcing day by day. Before you do this meditation, a certain other meditation also should be done. And that meditation is, as I told you, that Durdrisha Viveka we did. Right? In last 2-3 classes, we arrived at that I am Brahman. We started with subject-object inquiry. And subject-object inquiry has to be done because there is a subject-object error. Therefore, that inquiry has to be done. That's the only inquiry to be done, in fact. The whole issue is a subject-object error. We otherwise call a superimposition of object upon subject, either way you say. Superimposition of anatma upon self, atma, etc. We say in many words, but it is one and the same thing. It's a subject-object error. And that error occurs due to ignorance of the self. Just because there is ignorance of the self, you take the object as the very self, subject. Otherwise, why should you take? If you know the subject, the self as it is, then you will not superimpose object upon the self. Why should you superimpose? Why should you take object as a oneself? You need not, because I know I am pure consciousness, nothing else. Simple consciousness. I is consciousness. This is the meaning. There is nothing much. I is consciousness. But Swamiji, I is Brahman. But once you say I am just consciousness, then there is no dimension of consciousness, frankly speaking. If you say I am simple consciousness, then there is no dimension. Moment you add some object in subject, identify with object, then dimension comes. Otherwise, there is no dimension. As a consciousness, there is no dimension. No, Swamiji, you are consciousness and I am consciousness. I objectify your consciousness. Then it is not a consciousness. The moment you objectify, what you objectify is not consciousness, because of which you objectify is consciousness. And therefore, since the consciousness is not available for objectification, well, you cannot, then there is no dimension. When you say it has a certain dimension, means you are objectified, in fact. When you say consciousness is a square or whatever, consciousness is this much height, this much length, this much width, then in that case, definitely you have objectified. It has become object of your knowledge. So that's not. Simple consciousness. In fact, I am the only conscious being which lends existence or beingness to everything. Other things have no being. You experience that is one thing, but has no being. Being is you. Yeah. And your consciousness. So you are the only conscious being, frankly speaking. Yeah. Anyway, so you can meditate from external standpoint. And we also saw that anything here in this creation is, and also it's an object of consciousness. It shines. That's how they call asti bhati. It is asti. And when you say it is, definitely it shines in your consciousness, naturally. Therefore, it is bhati also. Right? Otherwise, how will you say it is? Unless it is not an object of consciousness or knowledge, you cannot say it is. And therefore, asti bhati goes together. And so when you say space is, definitely space consciousness is. And space shines in your consciousness as an object. So in Sanskrit, we have two words. One is a shines, bhati. And other is a shines after, anubhati. So, like this light, is bhati. And body shines after, naturally, in presence of light. So, body is anubhati. Light bhati, shines. Body anubhati, shines after, naturally. Anyway, same way sun bhati, the moon anubhati, etc. Because it reflects the light of the sun. Anyway, so any object about which you say is also shines. And well, definitely, ultimately what is bhati? Brahman is bhati, right? Everything is anubhati. So, Brahman bhati, because consciousness, and so you say space is and space shines in your consciousness as object, then definitely space anubhati. And consciousness, you, now I can say you, right? We have already arrived at you are Brahman. And therefore, basically, so you are bhati. And everything else, whatever shines in your consciousness as an object is anubhati. So, objects of the eyes, objects of the ears, every one of them anubhati. What shines, what bhati? Well, that consciousness alone shines, it's self-shining. So it is bhati. That's how we always say, na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam, etc., etc. Tvameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. So, which is self-existent and which is self-shining, well, that is that consciousness, that is alone, that for that alone we can say asti and bhati. So here asti is there, isness is there, but really speaking that isness belongs to consciousness. And this is also an object of consciousness, pervaded by consciousness. Therefore, the object which shines in your consciousness is it's due to consciousness, and therefore asti bhati in this object is basically a consciousness or Brahman. So shining after consciousness also is this mind, and mind shines, eyes shine, ears shine, all sense organs shine, and then objects also of the sense organs shine. So who lights up the whole Jagat? Ultimately, Brahman lights up the whole Jagat. Brahman bhati, Jagat anubhati. So Brahman not only is the existence of everything, lending existence, therefore existence of everything is Brahman, and Brahman lights up also everything. So that is the Brahman, and it also reveals everything through the sense organs and mind, etc., the external world. This Brahman is you, the conscious being. So naturally, therefore, it is present in the subject, it is present in the object also, ultimate, because everything shines in consciousness. And therefore, everything, whatever shines in consciousness is non-separate from consciousness, whether it is a subject or whether it is a object. The knower, we were discussing like this, the knower and objects of knowledge. What is known? I and this, we started like this, in fact. So, it is present in the subject who recognizes the object. Subject also is pervaded by consciousness. Subject is consciousness, in fact. Pervaded by consciousness, non-separate from consciousness, all that is ultimately subject is consciousness. Wave is pervaded by water, then wave is water. What else? Yeah. So subject, the knower is consciousness. There is no separate existence of the knower. Right? The knower is knower on account of the knowledge, consciousness. Simple. So knower, whatever the form, that form basically is form of this consciousness. It's like any form. Wave has a certain form. That form is ultimately of water. That way. Anyway. So this consciousness or the Brahman, that is you, is present in the subject as well as present in the object also. So object shines because there is consciousness and existence also involved in that. That is also consciousness. And the very observer, the knower also, is consciousness. So knower is, and that is consciousness. Because anything, I told you already, why I am going fast, because already we discussed. Any existence of anything, any damn thing, existence of anything is proven only and only in consciousness. Try to prove the existence of anything away from consciousness. Try it. If the day you arrive at, well, we will stop this. Existence of anything is proven in consciousness, because it becomes an object of consciousness, and thereby its existence is proven, object of knowledge. It is in simple word we used to say what? Pot is known, therefore I say pot is. Suppose I say pot is. You ask me, how can you say, Swamiji, pot is? Well, I know it. What do you say? I know it. This is the object of consciousness. Means anything which becomes an object of consciousness, well, definitely is proven existent in consciousness, naturally. Therefore, Asti Bhati in anything is ultimately this Brahman only. Anyway, so the knower also is, that is also is Brahman. The object of knowledge also is, that also is Brahman. And so, the knower also is conscious because of the presence of consciousness, etc. So, knower and known, basically, both are essentially one consciousness alone. And therefore, division between knower and known, called subject, object, etc., is mithya. There is no real division. Between, we say, two waves are different. Unless you, if you don't know the truth of it, the Atma of waves, if you don't know, then only you will say they are different. Moment you know this wave A also is a water, this also is a water, then the division between two waves has gone. Same way the knower and known. This is how you have to understand Brahman. Brahman is not something as just I am distinct from everything. That's how a dissociation is not going to work. Dissociation is never going to work. You never understand Brahman. Brahman means which is one without second. Means the whole thing is Brahman. The whole means what? Subject plus object. Therefore, both is Brahman in reality. Therefore, the division at the experiential level continues. Even your knowledge of a non-duality will never negate the experience of a duality. Never. And your experience of a non-duality also will not negate the experience of a duality. Your deep sleep state is an experience of a non-duality. There is nothing other than you, no space-time. You are definitely there, naturally. But other than you, there is nothing. It's an experience of a non-duality. But when you wake up, again, experience of duality continues. So the knowledge of a non-duality and experience of a non-duality will not negate the experience of duality. And therefore, this we have to drop this idea. Moment I will know that I am Brahman, then all this division between me and this creation, or the division between me and, division between two things in the creation, all will start melting down. Nothing is going to melt down. It will be there. But the only change, it's a cognitive change that you think that you are different and world is different. That is the duality that resolves. Because you and this world, the knower and known, both is essentially in consciousness alone. There is no object existence without consciousness. There is no object as an object of knowledge without consciousness. There is no subject, knower, without consciousness. This is simple to understand. Knower is a conscious being, is very simple to understand. Consciousness pervades the knowers. And I'm going to answer, somebody asked this question, who is a knower? Is there a knower of a knower? Etc. We'll see in the evening. Point is, knower means mind. That's it. Because it's a Ishvara's arrangement. Ultimately, all the activities which are taking place, there should be a subject behind. Behind activity, there should be some subject. And that is this mind, conscious mind, which we call ego. That is the knower. When you say knower of the knower, definitely that is the knower of the mind. That's a witness. That's a witness. And therefore, we'll talk in the evening. But it's a nice question somebody has asked. I just happened to see. While coming here, I thought, what are the questions? Let me just see. Then I saw somebody has asked this question. Yeah. But so with respect to the world, knower. With respect to the knower, the mind, there is a knower. But that's a knower because of its nature. Yeah. There is no motive on the part of that knower to know, to illumine. There is no motive. There is no motive on the part of the sun to illumine the objects, right? There is no will, wish, desire on the part of sun to illumine by its nature. That's called witnessing. That's a witnessing. People think witnessing means now I will to witness my thoughts. That is mind only. Real witnessing is your nature. That's how Atma is called Sakshi with respect to the thoughts or even with respect to Ahankara also. Anyway, so this is the knower-known division is mithya. Knower-known is one thing only. Sir, it is your experience. It's your experience that knower-known division you find real. But if you wake up to the another reality, the knower-known becomes mithya. It's your own experience of a dream, where there is a clear division between the knower, the dreamer, and dream world. In a dream, you definitely find I am a dreamer and dream world is different from me. Outside me, he says, outside me. But when he wakes up to the another reality, when he wakes up, the knower-known division becomes mithya. So it's your own experience. It's not that, Swamiji, how can you say that you are knower? I am knower of this creation. And really speaking, the knower and known has no division at all. Yes, there is no division. It's apparent. It is apparent. That's called mithya. That is apparent. Anyway, so once we are awake, we are not definitely afraid of that knower-known division also, because we understand it is not real. So here too also, we are not trying to eliminate knower-known as such. Knower or known, we are not trying to eliminate. We understand that knower also is a consciousness, that is Brahman, and the known also is a consciousness. And the very knowledge, cognition, right? Known means external world. So definitely it is known through what? Knowledge, cognition. That is also consciousness. Cognition is nothing but a qualified consciousness. That's it. When you say part consciousness, that's called qualified consciousness. Part consciousness is equal to part cognition. There is a part thought along with the consciousness becomes part cognition. Pratibodha viditam matam. That's how Kenopanishad said, bodham prati yad viditam. Every bodham, in every cognition, this person, this meditator realizes what is the invariable component in all cognitions. All cognitions are variables. Part cognition is different from clip cognition is different from table cognition is different from something else cognition. So cognitions are varied. Because of what? Because of consciousness? No, consciousness is invariable in all. What varies is only a particular vritti, thought. Thought of a clip, then thought of a part, thought of a this. But that thought is a part of the mind, which is inert. It cannot illumine itself. Mind is not self-illumining. It's made up of matter, made up of subtle elements. Therefore, then what illumines this? Well, definitely consciousness, which gets reflected, etc. That's a process, they say. So anyway, so with the consciousness, it gets illumined and becomes part cognition. We generally say part consciousness, click consciousness, this consciousness. In that consciousness is an invariable thing. Consciousness has manifested in the mind. Let the thoughts one by one parade. Consciousness simply illumines it. That's how in Natyadipa Prakaranam in Panchadashi, very beautifully it has been said. You are an invariable factor. What varies is this mind, thoughts. Keep varying. So therefore, the very knowledge also is consciousness. Yeah. Knowledge. Cognition is also consciousness. Known also, the object outside external, consciousness. The knower, consciousness. And therefore, ultimately, so the knower, known and knowledge, all three are one Brahman. This is the only way of contemplating Brahman. There is no other way. As I told you, you are not here sitting for waiting. I mean, you are not sitting for the. I mean, waiting for, not sitting. You are not waiting for some new experience of Brahman. Each experience right now, the whole experience in which there is a seer, there is an object of sight, and the very sight in your mind. All three are one Brahman. This is how Brahman is to be contemplated upon. So therefore, Pratibodha Viditam Matam, you can say again. So anyway, it is the same consciousness which is Brahman, which is in the form knower, known, and knowledge. All three are one Brahman. This is called wholeness. Wholeness. No, Swamiji, but knower consciousness divides known consciousness. Knower consciousness, known consciousness, and knowledge consciousness. So consciousness is divided into three. They cannot, because they are mithya. A mithya thing cannot divide which is satyam. Right? A mithya thing cannot divide which is satyam, because they are different lower order of reality. It cannot affect what the consciousness at all. And therefore, this is called wholeness, purna. I will show you how to meditate on this purnoham. So, and advityam, one without second, you say. One without second means this whole. That's it. We say limitless, etc., but frankly speaking, that doesn't convey. Wholeness conveys more. Whatever is there in your experience is apparent. And the whole apparent show is due to the consciousness that is you, the reality. That's a way to meditate. And in that, there is no chance that you will try to objectify consciousness. No. Because you are taking the whole experience. That's how Atma is called Anubhuti Swarupaha. Anubhuti Swarupaha means the content of the entire experience right now is consciousness. That's it. Knower, non-separate from consciousness. Knower is consciousness, known is consciousness, the knowledge is consciousness. And so knower is not limited by the known, and known is not limited by the knower, because both have their being ultimately in the same Brahman. Knower limits known, known limits knower, provided both they are real. If they are not real, they are mithya, they cannot divide it. Right? Mithya thing, knower, suppose a knower is real, then it is naturally distinct from the known. Then known, and if known limits knower, knower limits known. But if they are mithya, they have their being in consciousness, therefore definitely they cannot limit each other. And therefore, the knower, known, they have a being in Brahman, that is consciousness, and therefore knower, known do not add also anything to Brahman. Knower, known, definitely if they go away, well, the Brahman remains Brahman, because Brahman is whole, and therefore, definitely, you add anything into limitless, will be limitless. You subtract anything from limitless, that is limitless. The whole remains whole, and therefore, add wave to the ocean. Again, that's how I'm giving the example. Add wave to the ocean. It is ocean. Remove the wave. It is still ocean. Not even an ounce has gone. Not even an ounce. You remove the wave. Well, Swamiji, but I will remove the wave. I will separate water from it and remove the wave. It's impossible. Right? The wave is basically a apparent form of what? Water. So, wave arises, as though wave is added into that water or ocean. Well, it is still ocean. Same thing. Whole. And you remove the wave. Wave subsides. It is the same ocean. Exactly like that. Knower is a wave. Known is a wave. The knowledge is a wave. All these waves, either you add, you add naturally. In a waking state, you add. Waker. There are waking objects. And then there is waking experience, right? Which connects the waker and the waking world. That's a cognition, waking experience. So that's an addition. That's an addition in Brahman. It's an addition, eva addition. It is really not an addition. As the addition, right? As the addition. Pot is real, not an addition to the clay. Or an ornament is not an addition to the gold. 10 gram gold and you make some ornament, it will not be 15 grams. It will never be 15 grams. Name and form cannot add anything. That's what I told you. No name and some form of the mind. We say, well, ahankara, I thought. The object of I thought is this knower. And therefore, the whole mind, well, basically is non-separate from consciousness. So anything arises in the mind, different thoughts, I thought and this thought and all. is non-separate from consciousness. So basically, we have learned even in the mathematics that to infinity, if you add any number, it is infinity, and in infinity, if you subtract any number, still is infinity. If you subtract some number from infinity, and suppose it reduces now, then it is not infinity. I'm telling you, it is a finite number. It is a finite number from which you can remove something, and then you will get a reduced number now. So the knower known knowledge do not really count. What counts is only one thing, and that is you, Satyam. So in a waking state, what is the reality? You. In a dream state, what is the reality? You. In deep sleep state, when knower, known, etc. will resolve, what is the reality? You. So basically, you are the Turiya. You are the Turiya, which is distinct from three. At the same time, pervades all the three. Pervades all the three. Right? Without you, where is knower? Without you, where is known? Without you, where is knowledge? Either in a waking state, either in a dream state. Where is it? Anyway, and so it is, this consciousness is limitless. And that is Ananda. That this is what you experience. In a certain condition of a mind, this thing manifests. And this is what experientially we have, this wholeness we have in terms of happiness, fullness, etc. So Asthibhati, Satchit, is consciousness, as I told you. Anywhere you say is, that is belongs to Brahman. Anywhere you say, well, it is an object of knowledge, well, definitely it belongs to Brahman, because it's an object of consciousness, and therefore consciousness pervades it. And so Bhati belongs to the object as such, Anubhati. But what Bhati is this consciousness, without which nothing shines. And therefore Asthibhati belongs to Brahman. That's how in Drigdrish Viveka it has been said, Asthibhati priyam chaiva namarupityesha panchakam adyatrayam brahmarupam tatodvayam jagadrupam, something like that it has been said. So Asthibhati, he pervades everything. Pervades everything. Everything is non-separate from this Asthibhati. If you take away existence from anything, things won't remain. So whether you break it, still existence of the broken parts. Still you break it, existence of still further broken parts. Existence pervades whole thing. Existence alone is in this form. Brahman alone is in this form. If existence is taken away, where is object? Anyway, so basically this Satchit alone pervades whole creation. Whole creation, which includes knower and known, subject, object, everything. And that's how it is called Ananda, fullness. Therefore, basically in your self-experience, you miss only the limitless. You don't miss existence. Nobody misses existence. If you don't study Vedanta, well, Swamiji, I didn't study Vedanta, therefore I don't know anything existent or not. You don't miss existence. You definitely miss limitless existence. Yeah. Because, see, generally our understanding of existence is like this. This is object and a clip. And I will not say the existence manifested as clip. No. That's a Vedanta. But I say existent clip. So basically, existence I associate with this substance. This is a substance. Existence is an existent is an adjective. Existent means existence is an adjective to this. Vedanta says existence is a substantive, and this name and form is a adjective. That's what it is. So, or attribute, incidental attribute. It's an incidental attribute. Existence will be in this form. If you break it, melt it, or it may be, you may go further in physics, well, the existence will be in form of atoms. Existence will be in form of something else. So this particular name and form is an incidental attribute to the existence. But understanding is ulta. Existent clip means we think the clip is a substantive which has existence now. It will not be later. Therefore, our understanding of existence is time-bound existence. That is the issue. Our understanding of word Satyam and Shastra's understanding of word Satyam is far different. That's how we say we have to take implied meaning. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Our understanding of Satyam is what? Swamiji, clip is called Satyam because right now I see the clip. Therefore, clip is Satyam. But that clip will not be there in the future. Then he said, that clip I will not call it Satyam. Yeah. So, time-bound existence. The immediate meaning of the word Satyam is a time-bound existence. What Shastra says is timeless existence. Could you follow? So, from this itself you can go that existent is not an incidental attribute to this clip. Clip is an incidental attribute to the existence. That's the implied meaning of word Satyam. Then it definitely indicates Brahman, Satyam Brahma. Yeah. So this is how we have to understand. So you miss definitely limitless existence. You don't miss consciousness. Nobody has to study Vedanta to say, I am a conscious being. No. You know you are a conscious being. Everyone can say. But the recognition of a limitless consciousness, that I don't have. That is where you need a Vedanta. Limitless existence, I am limitless existence, you need Vedanta. I am limitless consciousness, well, you need Vedanta. Yeah. Otherwise, I am a limited conscious being who is time-bound, who is subject to birth and death. You don't need Vedanta. That is what our understanding is. That is only creating sorrow in life. That's the only fear, that I am time-bound. Even our aging, etc. also, the old age, etc. also, we have a fear of old age, etc. Is also indicating I am time-bound. Even if white hair appears or hair goes away, that also, it's all time-bound. I am subject to change. If you take yourself time-bound, definitely you will take yourself as subject to change, because in time everything changes. And therefore, this is our understanding. What we need as an understanding is this. I should recognize that I am a limitless consciousness. And therefore, no experience is without me. In fact, the whole experience is in consciousness. Ignorance is in consciousness. Experience is in consciousness. Small knowledge is in consciousness. All knowledge is in consciousness. All knowledge, Ishvara, in consciousness. Small knowledge, Jiva, consciousness. Ignorance, in consciousness. What is away? What is away from consciousness? What is besides consciousness? What is beyond consciousness? There is nothing. This is what the wholeness is. This is what you are. And this is what you experience in a moment of joy. Wholeness. Fullness. And you seek again and again, because that is what exactly you are. You do not know. You have an experience of wholeness. You do not know you are wholeness. That's how you keep seeking. Seeking will be there till you understand that you are wholeness. Seeking stops. Then seeking stops. You are no more a seeker of a freedom, because you are now free. That's what it is. If this is your understanding, now we have a certain words of the Shastra to work with this, reinforcing this understanding of this fact through contemplation, through meditation. So in this practice, we focus on the meaning of a given word from the Shastra. You have to select. Before I'm going to talk about it, how I am whole. Before that, this meditation should be done. Almost for a month, you have to meditate like this, that I am not physical body. We did that. We did not do meditation, but I narrated how I am not physical body. You should do first that. Because to arrive at Brahman, at least partially I have an understanding that I am not physical body. That error I am able to shade it off. That capacity I should have. And it will not come in a day. It will not come in a day. You have to meditate daily. How I am not this physical body. Physical body is an object of knowledge. I am the knower of the physical body. That meditation you should do for a length of time. Then your notion, which is well-entrenched notion that I am body only, will slowly loosen. Then add furthermore, what was there else? I am not sense organs. I am not mind. That you have to add. And those things you should continue for some time. Then I am memory, etc. Means I am not memory, I am not knowledge, I am not ignorance. All this is third part. Then you will have arrived at what? I am knower. We did that. I am knower. And as a knower, just knower, I don't find a variety between you and me. What is the variety between one knower and the other knower? What is the variety? There is no variety. All the varieties are there in objects of knowledge. Variety is there in a body. Variety is there in a memory. Variety is there in the sense organs. Variety is there in the emotions. Variety is there in the knowledge, areas of knowledge. There is a variety, but that is not I. They are all objects of knowledge. Now you can say, after doing this meditation, that, well, there is no variety. Why I am saying that? Already you start feeling non-duality. As a knower, there is no division between you and me. But still, Swamiji, variety is not there, it is fine. But manyness will be there. Like sometimes you buy flowers, or let's say these chairs. These chairs are there. May not be variety. Every chair will be identical in terms of color, design, maybe weight also. Because there certain mold are there. They make it from the mold, in a factory. So every chair looks totally alike. So there is no variety. There is no difference between two chairs. But there is manyness. Same way, there is no variety in the knowers, but at least there is manyness, many knowers. That question you should ask to yourself. And then take a flight from that. Okay? Knower. Applied ER, right? To what? To know. So I am the one, I am called knower because I am right now, I am knowing, which is some object of knowledge. When the object of knowledge is there, I am knower. Otherwise not knower, definitely. When object of sight, color, form is there, I am basically a seer. When there is some sound, I am hearer. There is no sound, I cannot call I am a hearer. So definitely, when the objects of knowledge are there, sounds and colors and forms and smells and all, then you are respectively called seer, toucher, smeller, hearer, etc. If no object of knowledge is there, then who am I? I cannot be called myself knower. There is no object of knowledge. If there is no object of knowledge, I cannot be called knower. There is no object of knowledge, in it you say I am knower. Then what is the object, I will ask? You say I am a knower. Knower of what? That's an object. You say there is no object. I say you cannot call yourself as a knower. Then who are you? That is the question. That's the question. And when you say, well, when the object of knowledge is there, there is knower. If it is not there, knower resolves. Resolves where? What is the truth of knower? Knowledge, consciousness. Knower's truth is what? Consciousness. Therefore, I am consciousness, basically. I am consciousness. Without consciousness, where is knower? Where is knower? Knower becomes a knower because he is conscious of object of knowledge. Object of consciousness is there. Therefore, I am basically the truth, the basis of I is consciousness. That's the basis. final. That is there in a deep sleep state. That is there in a waking state. When you are knower, you are consciousness. Definitely you are consciousness. But the consciousness, the self alone assumes a form called knower. The knower, the ego, the jiva, the individual is the same consciousness for time being. That's it. You for a time being, for a waking state, the same Atma becomes waker, knower of waking world. There is no difference. Ego is nothing but, ahankara, ego, the jiva, the individual is nothing but the same consciousness, time being. For a time being. When the time is over, waking state is over, suppose dream state, we are not a dream state, also same thing, then definitely waker has gone, ego has gone, ahankara has gone. Where? Resolved. Where? Consciousness. So in a waking state also you are consciousness basically, but you for a time being. That's how empirical reality. This is what empirical reality is. Transactional reality. For transaction, same Atma becomes waker. Same Atma becomes, as though. Becomes means you may feel that like the milk becomes yogurt. Same way this is, then milk becomes yogurt, then yogurt cannot become milk. So if you become a waker, then you over. Once you become a waker, you cannot be then consciousness. I mean this brahman. No. It's apparent. This is where Maya enters. This is where everything enters. Yeah. This is where entry of a Maya. Same like the gold becomes a ornament. As though. With some names and forms. Addition of names and forms. Same Brahman with names and forms. Yeah. Becomes either Ishvara, either becomes Jiva. The division occurs. You are a waker, Jiva, and experiencing waking world which is Ishvara. Right? So the division occurs. As though division between Jiva and Ishvara occurs. Both stem from what? Same consciousness. Now you follow? Subject object is no division. There is no division between. Really, there is no division between subject and object. That is what the non-duality is. Even though you in a waking, you will have experience this waking world is different. And you, the waker, is different. That experience will continue. But the reality in that experience will go away. That the waking world is different, Ishvara is different from me, etc. will go away. Because both have resolved into one. That is what the Mahavakya is. Jiva and Ishvara, both Tattvamasi, both resolve into one consciousness, which is limitless. This is what you are. No, Swamiji, I feel that is some basis. Wonderful. Means you feel this consciousness basically also has come from something else. What? Think. Ultimately, you have to account for all the experiences, waking experiences, dream experiences. You have to account for all this. And to account for that, you have to bring into consciousness that there is no way out. If you say this consciousness also I don't think is the basis, then you have to find a basis which is another consciousness, I'm telling you. Without consciousness, you cannot account for anything. Whatever you account for, this thing is, etc., anything is, well, you have to bring consciousness. Ultimately, consciousness is the basis. You are consciousness. That's the truth. You are consciousness. I'm a waker is your role. I'm a human being is your role, not a reality. I'm an ego is your role. I'm an individual is a role. I'm an individual conscious being, a limited conscious being is a role, not reality. And since it is not a reality, definitely it is subject to negation and it is negated. The sense of individuality is negated every day. Therefore, I am a jiva is a pure notion. I am subject to birth and death, notion. I am subject to prarabdha, notion. I am subject to punya papa, notion. I am subject to all kinds of raga, dvesha, and notion. Name dvesha raga, name lobha moho. Enough. Chalo. So, now this Purnam, Atma is Purna. Well, how to meditate on this? Purna is something which fills up everything. So whole. What is whole? How do you experience I am whole? Well, you don't look around. There is also, in that also I am there. In that also I am there. This is how you are understanding I am whole. I am on the left side, Swamiji, and on the right side also. Therefore, I am whole. How will you understand I am whole? The moment you try to objectify your mind in a meditation, you have slipped. We are talking about I, which is never available for objectification. And you want to understand everything by objectification, because this is how we understand. This is how we understand. And therefore, it's not. This is not way to be understood. I am whole means you are trying to see something outside with the X-rays eyes. In there also I am pervading. There also I am pervading. There also I am pervading. No. So, even though Shastra says like that, in Muṇḍaka Upaniṣad said Brahman is on front of you and Brahman is on the lights, in the back side of you, and Brahman is on the right side of you and Brahman is on the left side of you. It is there. It is there. In Muṇḍaka Upaniṣad itself it is there. But anyway, you don't try to see the Brahman like this, to the right of you, Brahman to the left of you. That only means that there is something called right and left. That's it. Nothing more than that. Not Brahman is on the right and Brahman is on the left, etc. So, what is said here is that the subject, object, and the knowledge of subject, object, which I told you, all three are Purnam. Subject is Purnam, object is Purnam, and means whole, means consciousness, and the very knowledge also is whole. So, all are one. That's it. And so, when you hear, when you see, when you smell, when you taste, when you touch, when you think of any object, what is thought of means object, and the very thought and the very thinker is one thing alone. That's it. That is me. That is consciousness. This is the way of contemplating upon I am Purna. There is only one thing. Because anything is within consciousness. And therefore, well, all three are non-separate from me. They cannot divide me. They are objects of consciousness, objects of me, objects of knowledge. They derive their existence because of me. They are mithya, they are apparent. Knower is apparent, known is apparent, the knowledge is apparent. And therefore, basically the division between this is not there. All the truth of all the three is one consciousness, that is me. This is the way you recognize in every experience yourself as a whole. This is the way to meditate. I am Purna. There is no other way of meditating. Anyway, and what will I accomplish with this? I am whole. Well, the feeling I am small, I am insignificant, I am persecuted, I am being taken advantage of, all this will be negated. For the world to persecute you, you must be different from the world. Right? So basically persecuted division will be there. So everyone has a sense of persecution, by the way. Because the human child is after birth, it's totally helpless. Even one has a good parentage. One has a very good parentage and care has been given, love has been given. Still that sense of persecution, helplessness continue. Because even a mosquito sits, on it, a child's body. It cannot get rid of it. It cries. That's the only thing it can do. So a sense of persecution pervades in the psyche of every human being. Whatever the care or has been taken by the parents, etc., still that is there. Sense of persecution, etc. And that sense of persecution is also one kind of an emotion. And emotions are basically, they are non-verbalized. Emotions you cannot define. No emotion can be defined like that. And that's why including love also. I told you once that love cannot be defined. That is why there is a misconception that whether other person loves me or not, because he cannot very in clear terms prove that, well, I really love you. And therefore, this continues. But anyway, so definitely, when you contemplate Purnoham, in that Purna or wholeness, well, I include this feeling also of being persecuted. And well, I'm not standing against that feeling, because the very feeling also is included in the whole. And when the feeling of persecution comes, this cognition, Purnoham, I am Param Brahma, etc., also should be there. Then definitely, the very feeling is Brahman. That's how I always say, Swamiji, you proved that you are Brahman, that is fine. But I don't feel I am Brahman. That's there. Because person cannot say, even after 2-3 days of lectures, person cannot say, now I don't know that I am Brahman. He cannot say, because we have proven. But he will definitely say this. You said you have proven also, but I feel that I am not Brahman. Yeah. But the very feeling that I am not Brahman is also Brahman. What can I say? The feeling I am not Brahman is also Brahman. It's whole. Whole means the feeling cannot be without I. Feeling cannot be without that I, the conscious being. Could you follow? When you say the feeling is means how can you say the feeling is? Oh, Swamiji, it is there in my mind. It becomes object of knowledge, object of consciousness. So every feeling, including this feeling that I am not Brahman, also is Brahman. This is what it is. That's how when you contemplate, you can definitely account for all your emotions, including anger and frustration and depression, whatever. The anger in your mind is what? Is consciousness. Is consciousness. Oh, therefore, but consciousness is I? Yeah. Therefore, I am angry? That's wrong. Why? Then why it is wrong? Because compassion also is consciousness. Right? Compassion also is I. Therefore, if you are really angry by nature, then you cannot be compassionate. So really speaking, everything is Brahman, but Brahman is definitely distinct from everything. So knower, knowledge and the known, all is one Brahman, but Brahman is not neither a knower, knowledge or known. Brahman is basically distinct from everything. So this is what Purnoham we have to understand. So here you are not playing a role of some survivor of this feeling of persecution, etc. Here and we welcome the feeling because it is ultimately me. That is how they say. So welcome the fear, welcome the anger, etc. Don't resist. More you resist, more you give the reality to them. Basically, all this is an apparent. Anger, all feelings are apparent. Apparent forms of what? Brahman. But so many feelings are there in mind. Mind is Brahman. Mind is Brahman. Mano brahmeti vyajanat. So basically, everything is Brahman. If something is left which is other than Brahman, then Brahman is not Brahman. Brahman is whole, one without second. Therefore, everything is Brahman. And therefore, in your understanding, Swamiji, it is too much. Okay, that's true. But this is how we have to understand. We have to, it's too much, yeah. But I'm just giving you one piece of Purnoham, etc. Anyway. And so, I'm not afraid of this feeling because the feeling is me. I can't be afraid of it. This is the cognitive space, actually, the space that is given to me by the cognition, by a reinforced understanding that I am whole. And that is how Bhagavan very beautifully said, Ye enam vetti hantaram yashainam manyate hatam ubhautavana vijanitaha nayam hantina hanyate. If you think you are a object of somebody's action of killing, and somebody thinks that he is an agent of killing, well, both of them really do not know. Right? So here it is also like that, feeling of persecution. Yeah, same thing. So you take yourself to be bhokta, etc. Well, it is not a reality. You take yourself to be karta, not a reality. This kartrutvam, bhoktrutvam is an incidental attribute of the self. Incidental attributes. They are there in one state, not there in another state. Incidental attribute. It's an attribute of a mind. When mind resolves, kartrutvam, bhoktrutvam resolves. When mind resolves, you are very much there. Right? With a mind, you don't resolve. Otherwise, whose deep sleep state it is? Where even mind has resolved, well, you will say it's my sleep. When there is someone is there who says that I went to the bed, I woke up. Who is that I, which is distinct from the mind, right? So kartrutvam, bhoktrutvam basically belongs to the mind. It's an incidental attribute to the self. Everything, every feeling is an incidental attribute. Every feeling is superimposed. Whatever the way you like to say. Or you say every feeling is I. The moment you say every feeling is I, you have really welcomed the feeling. By welcoming that feeling, well, definitely you have started resolving the feeling. So this thing. And immediately after doing this purnaham, one has to do asangoham, which is really an outcome of that. So word asanga will be there. And as I told you, all this knower, known, knowledge, etc. is, subject, object, everything is limitless consciousness. And for that I gave you the example also, like in a dream, well, knower and the known, basically subject, object looks different, but they are not, etc. And if all the three are one limitless consciousness, then limitless consciousness, that is I, is unaffected by these three. Because they are mithya. That's how asangatvam has to be understood. And so, unaffected by the known, mostly that, unaffected by the world. So I am unaffected by the world, etc. Or unaffected by the very knower. Sometimes being a knower itself, you will have a guilt and hurt, etc. So anyway, so definitely I, the consciousness, limitless consciousness, transcend all the three. Therefore, they cannot affect me. Like the clay cannot complain. What? That I am weighed down by the pot. I am weighed down by the pot. So the clay can't complain, I know I am a clay, but this pot is sitting upon me. It cannot say. Right? The water cannot say the wave is really sitting upon me. Well, it is not true. It's apparent. What I mean is, therefore this knower, known, everything is apparent, and therefore this known world really cannot affect me, etc. So 1 plus mithya is still basically mithya. And so, like water is not affected by being a surf, or by being a wave, or by being a something else, breaker, etc. So same way, our Satchidananda also is like a water. It is in this form or knower form or known form, or in a form of a cognition, the vritti. It is not affected by that. Our vrittis also affect us. We sometimes become fearful by our own thoughts. Yeah. So, unaffected is Satchidananda, basically sustaining this object, sustaining the knowledge of the object, sustaining the very cognizer, etc., is Purna. And then definitely, you can also say very well that I am, so our conclusions were generally, when we ignorant, I am subject to likes and dislikes, I am subject to sadness, subject to hurt, subject to guilt, etc. No. Name dvesha ragau, name lobha moho, name mado naiva me naiva matsarya bhava, chidananda rupa shivoham shivo. So this is asangatvam. All these are not in me. They are me, but I am free from them. That's the way. Matsthani sarvabhutani, nacha matsthani bhutani. Right? This is how we have to understand. So this contemplate upon asangatvam for a length of time. Then pick up another word for Atma. But from where I will pick up? Verse number 12 to 25 of chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita. You will get enough material. Atma is Nitya, Atma is Sarvagataha, Nitya Sarvagata Sthanu, Achaloyam Sanatana. Many things are there. Ajo Nitya Shashvatoyam Purana. I am free from birth. Any word you have to take and spend time. But Swamiji, Atma is Nitya. Then afterwards nothing comes in my mind. Nothing to worry. You have notes, you have books where the description is there. Atma is Nitya means what? And never say, never, for even the sake of saying also, never say Atma is like this. You say, I am like this. Right? But I cannot say, Swamiji. That's how I said, start with that subject-object inquiry. Reach to that I am Brahman for length of time. And that Brahman or Atma is Nityaha, Purnaha, Sarvagataha. You have to pick up word and dwell upon it. Then you find, now you have a reinforced understanding of oneself, which is freedom, right? Freedom from fear, freedom from sorrow, everything. This is moksha. Knowing oneself free from all this, which otherwise was causing sorrow, bondage. You are free now. Nothing else, no theoretical practice, etc. And if you want to say practice, this meditation is a practice, if you want to say. Really speaking, it's you have become clear about, you gain clarity. You had knowledge, but the clarity has grown now in you. The clouds as though have gone away, and the sun which was right there shines now. That's the thing. This is called nishtha. Tad vijnanartham sagurumeva vigachet shrotriyam samitpanihi brahmanishtam. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.